So I hope you will not get to that.
I'll give you a chance to respond to that, but let's see what Governor Matangi has to say on this, first of all. You've been in the Senate as well. I mean, now you're not there anymore, but you know the intrigues around there.
Yes, thank you, Trevor, and good morning.
Good morning.
Let me say also good morning to our viewers. Trevor, this one, okay, I think the two gentlemen are better placed currently to contest it because they're the ones who are in Parliament.
Yeah.
And the two issues will largely circle around what they are doing currently in the House. A few things I would say. One, I think because William Samoei Ruto's style of leadership as the president is different. And I think he's demonstrated that all the way before. He has a different sense of approach to various issues. So I think his presence in Parliament, that decision, in my view, is one of his many ways of demystifying earlier on, as he did, the road to the presidency. Yeah. You know, before it looked like a super big deal that one can find their way to the big house. Unless they have backing from state machinery and they come from big families and so on. But he's walked that road, fought it, charmed people, entertained people, coalesced with them, made friends with them, and did a lot of things to ensure that he gets that seat, and he did. And I think his decision to go to Parliament and have lunch with the team there, I think it's a good thing in my view, because it also demystifies this presidency thing, whereby you find that sometimes the relationship between the presidency and the legislature has been captivated by this thing that looked like a big rift or a big chasm between the two, and that has hindered the proper flow and communication between. So for him to have decided to go there easily, without a lot of drama, without the, you know, the ties of law that he has come to address Parliament formally, it's a very good thing. It shows that, you know, even Speaker Muturi can do the same. He can walk to my office. I mean, Speaker Wetangula, he can walk to my office. Yeah. In Kiambu. And we also have a chat. It says the president can walk to Cheragay's office in Nandi. And it's a very, very good, it's encouraging in my view. Secondly, on this question of who are the majority. And I think the problem, that's in my view from where we last interacted with this team, was in when the Azimio coalition decided to get into the agreements with the parties that they did. And I think they didn't seal those agreements in airtight, you know, conditions, for that matter. I reflect back on just even before the elections, people like Alfred Mutua, who was a main party member in the Azimio side, left the party. And he came and joined Kenya Kwanza. So what one would want to be asking is, what did the Azimio team do about Alfred Mutua then? Or did they deem it, for purposes of the political arrangement, that it was inconsequential for him to move at that time? Or the stakes were not as high as they are right now. So they just let it be. And I remember also Kivuda Kibwana at one point speaking against those agreements they signed. And actually, I think he said that they signed those agreements, you know, in ambiguity. In ambiguity. Yeah. The same has been aired by the UDM party leader, the senator for Mandera, and I think that's probably where Azimio would need to look back at what they did. One of the things that I said here earlier, and I think my friend Sifuna will introspect and calculate better next time, is there was haste. The first time when they decided to mop up all possible would-be suitors of the contesting or the contestant coalition, which was us in Kenya Kwanza, they quickly decided that they wanted to take everyone off the field who would have been approached by President William Ruto then to be in Kenya Kwanza coalition. And so in that quick haste of mopping up everybody, they signed into agreement all those parties in what is tantamount, I think, to the handshake. I mean, it's just, come in, we'll work together, and I don't think that it had a lot of legal bearing towards what then is happening right now. And then lastly, on the question of how probably would Speaker Wetangula rule, and then does it matter that those agreements existed then? Does it matter to Wetangula? And probably what Senator Sifuna, and by the way, Senator Sifuna, I didn't congratulate you. Congratulations, my brother.
Asante.
You know, we were here with you many times.
Yes.
And you did a lot of things, and you said good things. Some of them not so good. Because we were but then the people of Nairobi gave you the position. I think it is time to rise above and deliver as a senator. But having said that, Trevor, I think it is important for Speaker Wetangula to interpret, and I believe he will, the import and effect of those agreements that were signed then into the current scenario that he's facing in the House in determining who are the majority. Okay. And what it just has to determine, because it's about numbers, you count who is more and who is less. And in that counting, you also have to determine who belongs to which side. I think that's the main question on the floor. Okay. And the connection, the nexus between determining who belongs to which side are those agreements that are in contestation. And his question is, do those agreements have an effect to the standing orders and to the laws of this country that will determine where those people belong? And I think that question is easily determined by the fact that even prior, some of those members had decided to move to the Kenya Kwanza coalition, and indeed, most of the contestants, as they went to the general election, their party leaders, including the SGs, had already moved to the other side. So I think it may be a question that is already determined, by fact of those actions that happened prior. Okay. And so Speaker Wetangula, I think, will have a fairly easy job in determining who has the majority. I suspect that in most cases, he will just have to see what it is that the Kenya Kwanza coalition has got more members in that House.
All right, Sifuna. Cherargei said that yours is a coalition of the unwilling, glued together by intimidation and
I want to take it up from where the governor has left. Yeah. The question to determine really is who belongs where. And who belongs where is not a determination that the Speaker can make. That is the ORPP to be able to make that determination. And she has already communicated to the leadership of Parliament. There's a letter that I have seen that is addressed to the clerk of both houses of Parliament to just state a fact that so-and-so has an agreement with so-and-so. The question of the validity of those agreements is actually a matter that is already before court. You would know that just prior to the election, and you have alluded to our brother Alfred Mutua, who I actually believe and can state here is competent to be a CS, there was a determination by the political parties tribunal that they could not legally leave at that particular moment in time because of the agreements that they had signed. So all we are saying is we must distinguish between the Speaker's role. The Speaker's role under Article 108 is to conduct a physical head count. After being told that you count these, the people you count in this coalition are Sifuna, Cherargei, and so. That is all he's supposed to do. And if he is honest and true to the oath of office that he took both as an advocate of the High Court and as a Speaker of the National Assembly, then that determination should be straightforward. Number two, this question of, Cherargei is saying, I am against women. He has, I don't know, he's planning maandamano against Sifuna. I have counted almost 9 women that President Ruto has named to his cabinet and cabinet level positions. People like Soipan Tuya, who's our colleague in the Senate, she's leaving. I have no problem with that. When you mention to any Kenyan the name Rebecca Miano, she just speaks class and somebody who knows what she's going to do. Article 73 of the Constitution is the one that lays out the criteria for selection and election of people into public office. And there's 3 criteria that is set out in Article 73. This chapter 6 that everybody sings about. Number 1 is personal integrity. Number 2 is competence. Number 3 is suitability. You can be competent, not suitable. For instance, I have no doubt that Moses Kuria is competent because I know the guy. I know he's gone to school, he's able to do things, he's been a member of parliament. But the question of his suitability is a question we will bring before the committee of vetting because of his previous conduct and pronouncements against large sections of this republic. We feel, and you know, one of the things that I want people to understand is that the qualifications or suitability or competence or the personal integrity of someone to hold public office is not only tied to a determination of a court in a criminal case, you know, because the question of suitability is not a matter to be litigated, Governor. Everybody, you can conduct an objective review. We can all objectively agree that whereas Sifuna is competent to be or is suitable to be a TV host, I am not competent for that particular job. You can be competent, not suitable. Suitable, not competent. Competent and suitable, but lacking in personal integrity, then we don't conduct any further inquiry. So even the question of, there are court cases, they have not been concluded, that's besides the points. That's the question of personal integrity. But are these people competent to do the job? Penina Malonza, I have no doubt she's competent. Susan Wafula, I have no doubt that she's competent and suitable. In fact, when we are discussing and debating, we are currently debating the president's speech in the House. We are going to hold William Ruto's feet to the fire because he promised the women of this country 50% of the cabinet. We are the ones who are going to remind him and to fight for that particular space for women. When he was talking in his speech about being proud of the women that have been elected, the 6 more that came into the National Assembly in individual or single constituencies. I am very proud as the SG of ODM because 2 out of those 6 were brought by ODM. And it was because of deliberate effort in Kisumu West constituency and here in the Dagoretti North where we are right now to get Mheshimiwa Elachi elected. So I have no personal issue or problem with any person on this particular list, but we are saying the criteria is set for us. Personal
Nagro, Gradometer, the #1 termiticide in Kenya.